There are more than 100 529 plans available across the United States. These college savings accounts are a great way to save and get those tax breaks, but how can anyone compare all those plans? In this video, I'll reveal the 5 biggest factors to compare and find those best 529 plans in any state. We're talking saving for college today on Let's Talk Money.
Beat debt.
Make money.
Make your money work for you.
Creating the financial future you deserve.
Let's talk money.
Hey Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue with the Let's Talk Money channel here on YouTube. I want to send a special shout out to all you in the nation. Thank you for spending a part of your day to be here. If you're not part of that community yet, just click that little red subscribe button. It's free and you'll never miss an episode. Nation, we talked last week about the student debt crisis in America and how 1 in 5 millennials are still living with their parents. That's about 15 million grown adults still drinking from the carton and leaving their socks in the living room. Now, I love my kids, but I'm kicking their butts out at 18 and turning their rooms into a man cave. But that means being ready to pay for college. Maybe not paying for all of it, but at least enough that my boy doesn't get swamped with debt and become the smartest homeless guy outside of CVS. The best way to do this, saving money for college, is that 529 college savings plan that we talked about last week. With these plans, you not only get an easy way to save, but also tax-free returns. Now, almost every state has a 529 plan, and most have multiple ones. In fact, researching for this video, I found over 100 529 plans across the US, and that is just too many. How could you possibly compare and decide on so many options? So I want to share 5 factors you can use to compare and then pick the best 529 plans in any state. Remember, you don't have to use your state's plan. If your state doesn't offer a tax break, then it might not be the best option anyway. I want to thank Unest for sponsoring this video. Unest is an SEC registered investment advisor that helps you set up and then manage your 529 plan. Open your account and Unest is going to help you pick the right investments depending on how long it's going to be until you need that money for expenses. It combines all the ease of working with an online advisor, but none of the costs. For example, Unest charges a flat fee of $3 a month for accounts under $50,000 instead of that asset-based fee that just increases as your account grows. There are no sales commissions with the app, and fees on investments are about half of what you'll find with other advisor-guided programs. I'll leave a link in the video description below. Check out the app while we're comparing those 529 plans because this is a strong choice with some extra features and services you don't usually get with some of these other college savings plans. But let's get to those 5 rules for comparing 529 plans by state. And the first step is to check for a tax break in your state. Now, all the money you withdraw for education is always going to be tax-free on that federal level, but some states are also going to give you a tax break on your state taxes as well. Now, this map shows an estimated tax savings for a couple making $100,000 and saving $200 a month for their kids' 529 plans. Now, I want you to notice a few things here to help you pick the best 529 plan for you. Some states don't have an income tax, the ones in light brown here, so there's really no advantage to investing in that state's college plan. A few other states, the ones in yellow, don't offer a tax deduction, so again, no help there. Even the ones in that light blue though, a family making $100,000 a year and investing $2,400 in that 529 plan, it's only going to save less than $100 by choosing that state's 529 plan. So when you look at the total cost for the different plans by state, you really need to keep this in mind. Even if your state offers a tax break for choosing its college savings plan, is how much you save on your taxes going to be enough to cover those higher fees? And usually the answer is going to be yes, but not always. So I want you to understand this. There's nothing that says you have to invest in your own state's plan. Next on your list to compare plans is to check for annual fees on the account. Nation, as much as I love the idea of 529 plans, these can be loaded with fees. That tax break is nice, but between annual account fees, management expenses on funds, and load fees, sometimes you're not saving much of anything. Now, these annual account fees can be as high as $35 on some plans, and that's not even the worst of the fees. When we look at the expenses on funds next, that's really where we're going to start to see a difference in these plans. So this next comparison point is to check those investment options and the expense fees on that state's 529 plan. This is going to be the big one for most of these plans, the one that helps you decide which state 529 plan to go with. First is just that choice of investment options. So if you have a 401k plan at work, you know how this works. The state contracts with a fund provider like Vanguard or Fidelity to offer those investment options to its savers. The fund then says, okay, these are the 5 funds that we're going to offer in this plan, and this is how much we're going to be charging each year on your investment. So first you want to check to make sure that you've got a decent selection of funds available in that plan. This is part of the reason why I really like the Unest app, because it invests with the Illinois Bright Directions plan, which offers funds from dozens of different providers, including Vanguard and T. Rowe Price. Each fund provider offers several funds, so you've got a lot of choices for any of these needs. Just as important though is the expense ratio charged on each fund. Now, this is the percentage of your total investment that the fund manager is going to take each year to cover those admin and other costs. And this is why you absolutely have to look at those total costs. For example, you might have a plan that charges no annual fee like the Nebraska 529 plan, but it could cost you up to $1,700 over 10 years on a $10,000 account. That's roughly $170 a year on just that expense ratio on the funds. So you have to look at these in addition to those fees. Now, this next check is a deal breaker for me also, checking for those load fees on buying and selling in the account. You'll notice a lot of these comparison points are on those fees. It is so important that you understand the total cost on these funds and be able to avoid those most expensive plans. They're just not worth it. And this one, these load fees are a major no-no. These are actually holdovers from the old mutual fund days, and they still get a lot of investors and a lot of funds. A load fee is a charge when you buy or sell a fund, usually around 5% of your transaction. That means invest $10,000 into a plan and you could be immediately out $500 on top of that annual account fee and the expense ratio. Now, there aren't many funds or plans that still charge these load fees, so it's a major deal breaker when you find one. There's just no reason, with all the other fees that these funds are collecting, that they should be able to get away with this. Save your money, pick a 529 plan with no load fees. By now, you've narrowed your list of best 529 plans down to a few. Now you want to call up customer service. Up to this point, we've just been comparing those numbers, so that's easy enough. You also, though, want to make sure that you're getting the best customer service available. So here you're going to have to play sneaky a bit and call up that 529 plan's customer service with a problem. Note how long it takes to reach someone, if you have to dial through those maze of touch tone options first, and maybe even how polite the rep is on the phone. Believe me, if you ever have a problem and need to call customer service for real, great service may be worth spending a few extra bucks a year on a plan. The UNest app makes all this easy through one of the best 529 plans in the country, the Illinois Bright Directions program. You'll get options in dozens of fund providers, including Vanguard and T. Rowe Price. You've got lots of options here like age-based and target funds. UNest is just $3 a month for accounts under 50 grand and will recommend funds depending on your child's age. Click on the video to the right for a detailed guide on 529 college savings plans, including the 7 most common questions and how to save money on your taxes. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.